Aloha and welcome everyone to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, you've just got to check out the Pacific Source Cabinet and Appliance Warehouse and Showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Interim Executive Director for Lokahi Pacific and President of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. And it's my pleasure today to introduce our co-host. Oh, who are you? No, Sherry Dodson, who is the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity Maui.
And the treasurer for Maui Nonprofit Directors.
There you go. That's by the way, we never talk about who co-hosts, and it's actually our executive committee that takes turns co-hosting.
Yes, yeah, it's one of the benefits of being a...
Definitely.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Definitely it's a benefit. You know, we learn so much when we do this show.
That's true.
When we talk to our fellow directors.
That's true. I do want to, before we really get started, I want to do a shout out for October 12th. Maui Nonprofit Directors Association is hosting a legislative Pauhana event at Kono's on the Green at the Elier Golf Course. It's from 5 to 7. It's a chance to mingle with candidates who are running for the general election, and they will be speaking for a few minutes. Cost is $35 for non-members and $25 for members. Again, that's October 12th. So you can call 242-1140 and ask for Richard, and you can RSVP. Each year it's a great event, so please call. Please
call and please join us. Yes, it's a great evening.
So each week during this hour, we share the experiences of how our nonprofit agencies are working to benefit our island home, with stories of how these agencies are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope. And today I have to say that we have my two favorite nonprofits, besides my own, and that's Maui Kidney Foundation of Hawaii and the Humane Society. I got my puppies from the Humane Society, and I'm a kidney transplant patient, so these are really too close to my heart. So
great.
First, we're going to talk to Colleen Welty, who is the Executive Director for the Kidney Foundation of Hawaii.
And she's brought along with her Katz Anderson, who is a recent donor of a kidney. And I'm in awe of you, Katz. I really am. I'm making a decision like that. I don't know how you do it.
Well, explain, because there's lots of different kinds of donations. You know, I have a twin sister who, was worked up and all that kind of stuff, but that's not the type of kidney donation you did, huh?
No, I actually did it for a person that I didn't know. She was on the mainland in California. Her name is Susie Crow. I got it through a prayer request because I'm a prayer intercessor for my church, and I was so moved by the email that I, halfway through reading it, just felt touched and just said, if I'm the match, I want to do it. And then as I finished the email, we were the same blood type, so I put my name in, and it started the process. So it was over a year, and I finally I ended up to be a perfect match for Susie in the mainland. And we just did the surgery in April of this year.
That is amazing because, as I said, I'm a kidney transplant recipient. And I know what it's like. I know what she was going through on dialysis. And, we're very lucky and blessed that this type of illness you can get on a machine and stay alive, as opposed to other organ donation recipients who, if your lungs are bad or your heart is bad, there isn't always that chance to stay alive for a long enough period of time to get a match. So we're lucky in that sense, but it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy. And there's so many people in Hawaii alone are waiting for donation.
Yeah.
Of one kind or another.
How long had she been waiting? Did you know?
I believe she was waiting for 3 years.
3 years.
And she was on dialysis for every day for a year at least.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she's an older woman. She used to be the past mayor actually for San Marino County.
Oh wow.
And I found that out later in the process. But she's a strong woman and just loving family. And she's I don't know, you can have a heart to love somebody that you don't even know.
Right.
Well, you know
Right.
her now.
Yeah. I love them.
Yeah.
It's true. When I had my donations out, because mine were cadaver, there was, somebody unfortunately who had passed away. They don't always encourage the donor and the recipient to meet.
Yes.
I know when my first transplant years ago, there was no contact whatsoever. My second transplant, the family wanted to contact me, and it's tough. It's, as a recipient, you feel a great deal of gratitude and responsibility to keep this kidney going, because somebody gave up such a dear gift.
That's true, because I feel like the family will constantly tell me, because she's in and out of hospitals, because it's a hard process, even after you receive the transplant. She's recovering and she's actually in the hospital again, but I feel like the family constantly says, but the kidney is working strong. And I'm
It's
like,
not you.
I'm like, no, don't worry about the kidney, but tell me how she's doing, and we can pray and bring her back and just send our love from Hawaii.
I just had a strange thought. I mean, and she's got one of your kidneys. If something should happen to her, can she pass it on?
They have done that a couple times where a further donation, but typically if something's up with her, it has to do with the rejection of the kidney and that kind of stuff. Through my first transplant, I actually had rejection. And in that sense, then, they pump a lot of drugs into you and so forth. So it's not always possible to double transplant an organ. But yours may go on to somebody else. But nothing's going to happen to her. So
No,
and she'll live a long
She'll
time.
be
a long time.
She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be able to do all those things she wants to do.
Yes.
That's terrific. I just, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm just in awe of someone who can make a decision like that. And I would, it's tough enough when it's maybe family and you'd like to give, but to just put your faith out there on the line and say, I'm going to help somebody. And yeah, really, I mean, I'm almost as tongue-tied as I was when we had the gentleman on before that was waiting for a kidney.
The dialysis patient.
Yeah. And he was telling me all the things he does while he's in dialysis, in dialysis mode or whatever you call it. But he's
hooked up to the machine.
Well, no, his active life when he's not hooked up.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked out of here, and matter of fact, it took me a couple days to recover from that one because it's just like, I think of the commercial that's on the air about the hungry people who don't have food, and it's I'm the person that lives next to you. I'm the person that sits next to you in the meeting at such and such. You know the one I'm talking about.
But I get it.
And it's like, what is it? 1 in 6 are hungry, go to bed hungry, or something like that. Don't have enough food to eat, and you don't know who they are. And that's kind of how I feel about this. People walking down the street. How many of them have been touched in this way, either as a donor or a recipient? And I mean, not that you should wear any markers or anything, but it's like, wow.
Well, and there's also these. For me, I've lost family members. I had a brother who passed away at 15, and I know how our family grieved. And for me, thinking about this family who lost a child, because in my case it was a daughter, and they, through all their grief and all their misery, had the presence of mind to think about somebody else, to think about how they can turn this into a positive,
Right.
and give life to somebody else when they're grieving. Because unfortunately for me, she was on life support for quite some time. They were hoping and praying that she would come back. And then 2 days before 9/11, they decided to make the choice, which was huge for me, because had it been just a couple days later, I wouldn't have been able to travel to Oahu to receive the transplant. But to have that presence of mind, to be thinking about somebody else. And for me, it was when everybody was grieving 9/11 and everybody was thinking about how horrible everybody was and all this evil out there. All I could think about was there's a lot of good out there.
Right.
Yeah.
People like you who do it altruistically, or somebody who's grieving, their family's grieving and lost a child or a sister or a wife. And then, you know what, I'm going to turn this into something positive. I'm going to give life to somebody else. And you do. You give life.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in some cases, they can give life to several people with the different organs
Exactly.
Yes.
and so forth. And that's just some of the stories you read about that. It's just phenomenal.
And it is fun to meet the
Hearts,
donor
lungs.
family. It really is, because I've become a part of their family. They live in San Diego. and that's where I went to law school. So I go down there a lot to visit them, and there was 4 other sisters, and so they're like my sisters now. And weddings, I get invited to weddings, and I get baby announcements and so forth, and we're all Facebook each other. But it's definitely an extended family.
Didn't you say that your new family, you've got brothers you
I got
didn't
brothers
have?
now. It's in my family. It's 3 girls, and they have 2 sons. And I said I just inherited 2 brothers. Yes. I have another mom,
There you
and
go.
I get to visit my kidney every now and then.
When I go there, they put their hand on my stomach. 'Cause, yeah, for those of you out there who don't know that when you get a kidney transplant, they put it in your stomach, not in the back where your other kidneys are. So everybody in the family comes up like I'm pregnant, and they put their hand on my belly like, oh, there's Marilyn, and they can touch a little bit of her, which is a little odd for me. I will endure.
Yeah.
So they can
The
feel.
price you'll pay.
I will. But it is truly a great thing. Colleen, do you know the statistics of how many people are waiting here in Hawaii?
We are part of a regional, so the numbers that I have are from several states, but 80% of the people waiting for an organ are waiting for kidneys. It's, like you said, by far the most sought after. I have a Region 6 profile, and it includes Alaska, Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington. And so they said the wait list for all organs is 3,237 in those 6 states. And the ones waiting for kidneys is 2,611. And then the other things are livers, pancreas, kidney, pancreas combined, heart, lung, and then heart, lung together, and intestines. So it's by far the most. And as obesity rates and high blood pressure
And
diabetes go up and up and up, kidneys are going to become more. The kidney disease is going to go off the charts. So it is wonderful that they're figuring out how to do group donations. Like if your family member needs one and you aren't a match for them, you can give it to someone else. Katz, you were just telling of a situation that's happening on Maui.
Yeah.
Where you want to tell them without saying who it is, but yeah.
One of a pastor of a upcountry church, he needs a kidney, and his daughter is actually going to be donating her kidney to someone else, and that another person will come in and donate their kidney to her father, and it should be happening either the end of this year or next year sometime. So it's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Colleen, I was going to ask you, could it be that the reason why there aren't as many other organ donation is because they can't stay on the list that long?
Right.
Unfortunately, you don't last very long if you don't get a new heart.
Right, and usually you just have one of those organs, and the availability of them is much more rare, from an accident or somebody dying, a family member deciding to give. But with kidneys, you really can get by just fine with only one. So that's a good thing for the way that we're made.
Well, yeah, we have dialysis machines, and we, as you said, you can survive on one, and for every cadaver donation, there's 2 kidneys that result out of it. So, definitely better to have kidney failure than anything else,
right,
if you're gonna have it. But
if you have to have something
fail.
I don't wish it on.
Yeah. Now the people go unchecked when it comes to high blood pressure and sugar, diabetes things. For a long time, that usually something has to happen to trigger going to see the doctor.
Right. Unfortunately, for kidney disease, there's often a lot of damage before you have any symptoms. And so we really encourage people to get regular checks, and we have screenings around the state that we put on where people can come if they don't have health insurance, or if they just want to get a second opinion, that they can get. And it's usually the urine and the blood that you can check. And at our screenings, we have a doctor's, nurses, or a registered dietitian that you sit down with and get the results reviewed. So you're not just walking out with a sheet of paper going, oh, what does this number mean?
So they have the results immediately and
exactly.
can talk to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's really really important here because, there are so many Native Hawaiians, and Native Hawaiians do have a tendency towards diabetes
Yep.
and obesity,
Yep.
unfortunately. And even if you're not obese, you can have diabetes.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
as you get older, you get the adult onset diabetes and all those different types of, situations where you could go into kidney failure.
Yep.
And for those of you who don't realize that if you're in kidney failure, it's not just your kidneys. You can lose your limbs. You can, lose your eyesight. There's lots of other, symptoms that go along with it. So it's not a life that you want to live. So get tested early.
Right. That's what we really encourage people to
And
do.
one of the simple symptoms can be just being tired.
Exactly. Fatigue. So often, a lot of us go around tired a lot, but there's tired, and then there's just real, even after you get up from a good night's sleep and just not having any energy. So that is something to have checked out. Just getting regular routines. We have even a little take-home test kit that people can check their urine. And if you have not had your urine tested by a doctor in the last 6 months, just give the Kidney Foundation 986-1900 a call, and we can arrange. I can get it to you one way or the other, or you can stop by. We have an office on Waiale, 77 Waiale. It's right next to Norman's mortuary. And, but
One-stop shopping.
between Emora's and Palm Travel. So it's a nice little building right behind Napa on Wells there in Waiale. And we do have our pods, I'd like to mention, are at 3 places. Our office, you can drop off kidney clothes, donations, high fives, just about anything. We don't take big appliances, furniture, and electronics, but we have it now at the Kihei Recycling Center.
Good.
Down next to Hope Chapel. And we have one that's been there for quite a while up at the Longs Upcountry.
Cool.
In their parking lot. Yeah. So there's 3 places that you can, or you can call and have it picked up. It's 270-8890. You can call.
270-8890.
For-
Yeah, now this is if you want to donate, not kidneys.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you want to donate clothes or any things to the National Kidney Foundation as a fundraiser to help
Exactly.
you guys with your programs in education. And
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we're back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, talking story with the National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii, Executive Director Colleen Welty, and a donor from, earlier this year, a recent donor, Katz Anderson. Katz, it's such a fabulous story. Can you give us a little more insight into what all took place, or
As far as the process goes,
whatever you're comfortable telling us?
the whole thing was a whole brand new experience for me. So just the actual getting tested, and because the testing was done at USC, everything was either FedExed over. All my blood samples got FedExed. They did it for me. And then a big test was done, like for a week span. I had to fly up in October to go get the exact, the stress testing and everything. So that was
24-hour urinalysis. Isn't
yes,
that fun?
that was really fun.
So they do absolutely everything to make sure you're good
Yes,
and that you can give one safely.
yes.
And they
Okay.
also do psychological testing too, right?
They do a lot of. For mine, they did a double. For some reason, they wanted to make absolute sure because maybe because it was an altruistic type of donation, so they wanted to get a second opinion, and so there is the medical as well as psychological analysis. And after that, it was just wait. It was a lot of waiting period. So it was good that I was in contact with Susie, because USC, with all the security, they will give the donor actually every opportunity they can to opt out. So they will keep it totally private, and they will not speak to the recipients. So I actually try to communicate with them along the way, so that they would have reassurance, and that I wasn't going to back out at the last minute. But it was it was a challenge, actually, just to get through the process. And then finally, there was a little hiccup, because I had so many arteries attached to my kidneys that it was pretty funny, because they would just tell me, well, you have 4 arteries attached to your right kidney and 2 attached to your left. And I said, okay. I didn't know.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Usually you have one, right, per kidney.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
okay.
1 per kidney. So they had to do an extra test, and the surgeons had to really analyze my kidneys to see if it was doable. And they gave us a go. And funny, when I sent up my blood the first time, they said there was one area that we didn't match. But when I went up there, and Susie and I were on the tables next to each other, we went together. They drew our blood, and they said the match was perfect
Oh, fantastic.
right before the surgery.
Which for a recipient means a lot, because you can get a perfect match, or you can get a what they call a 3 out of 6 match. A 3 out of 6 antigen match is the most they'll do, and it's a lot healthier to get a perfect match, because there's less chance of rejection. And so that's, you're the golden child for being a perfect match. It really is important. So now, I asked you earlier, they went in laparoscopically, so it's
Yes.
not quite as invasive.
Yes.
Yeah, in the olden days, they used to have to go in through your ribs and break them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I got it this way.
In the olden days, when during my first kidney transplant, yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier, and that's not to say that it's easy, but it's easier
Yes.
if it's laparoscopic. So,
Yeah.
and that was your first surgery ever?
Ever. Yes.
So all that, getting, the oxygen and the IVs and all
Yes.
that stuff, and going into the surgical room, which I know is scary.
Just a gas I didn't know would hurt your body so badly. But because I had so many arteries, he kept me open for 8 hours on the table
Oh,
to
my
make sure
goodness.
that I
Wow.
would be good. So I had a lot of gas in me, and it was very painful. But the surgeon was so cute at the end, because he told me, don't answer any more emails, don't give anything else away. But he just hugged me, and he sent me off, and I just had such wonderful treatment there. And I don't know, and recently, I guess I had because I'm in close contact with the recipient, and this is the 3rd time she's been in the hospital, that my heart has just been for her family, the caregivers, and just praying constantly with her family that she'll be okay, and that she'll get healing, and to not lose spirit, just to not lose hope. And that's what's been heavy on my heart. So
Well, you've given her hope, though. I
but
can tell you, being on dialysis, as much as it is a blessing to be able to, prolong your life while you're waiting for a kidney transplant, it is hard. And she no longer has to be on dialysis. So that is huge. She can heal the rest of her body, but that dialysis, it takes its toll.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, emotionally and physically. I mean, I was physically ill almost after every treatment. And, I only had to do it 3 days a week. You said she had to do it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely gave her a lot of hope. I think I'm going to say she's going to pull through on everything else.
I hope so.
She
We're
will.
praying.
She will. She will. You've given her a lot of hope. Yeah.
Oh boy, that's terrific, terrific. I just, stories like that really, we're saying the word hope all over the place, and that's really what it's all about. It's hope for the future.
It's hope and faith.
Hope,
you gotta
yeah.
have faith. Yeah. It's people often ask me, how did you go through it? Because unfortunately the 2 transplants weren't my only problems. I've had a few other things go on in my life, and you just got to have faith that I'm meant to be here for a reason. I hope it's to do what I'm doing with Habitat for Humanity. And that's all I can do. And she's going to go on to do great things because you've given her this gift. So.
And
Yeah.
Kat's going to help me with a support group for kidney transplant recipients and
wonderful.
donors.
Oh, really?
And it's
Yes.
called HOT, Hawaii Organ Transplant.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yes.
This is a first?
Yes.
you know, they're doing it. They're starting it in Oahu, and we were on a conference call with them for a couple hours the other night, and they're very excited. So we want to try. And it was so funny because she came over to talk to me about it. We went to lunch. We ran into Sherry. It's like, oh, this is Maui.
It's a small island. And I actually know, because, I was on dialysis with a lot of different people, so I know a lot of people who are recipients and stuff. So
Oh,
we'll definitely
great.
get together.
Oh, great.
And thank you. Thank you so much for
That's
everything you've
terrific.
done and everything you continue to do for National Kidney Foundation.
And again, the phone number for anyone who wants to find out more about kidney donation or kidney issues.
986-1900.
And get tested.
Get tested. Yeah, don't take chances.
Don't wait till you need one.
Are there some kidney situations that can be reversed if it's caught early enough?
Slowed down, but not really reversed. But
I
they
see.
can, if they catch it early, they can certainly, it's a good thing.
Monitor your blood pressure and do
Yeah.
all those things to
Yeah.
prevent further damage.
Yeah.
So you don't
Gotcha.
have to go on dialysis.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank
Terrific.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Katz. Thanks, Colleen. We really appreciate it.
Thank
and
you
what
very
a
much.
wonderful thing to do. Thank you so much. And we will switch over to our second guest today. Or does that make her a third guest?
I think it's the third one.
Third guest. Okay.
At Katz and Colleen now.
Thanks, Katz and Colleen.
So now it's the puppy and kitty hour.
Puppy and kid half hour.
It is. That was super inspirational.
Woof.
Well, what you do is inspirational too. Don't you worry. I have 2 little children because of you guys. Thank you very much.
And I have one very smart gentleman in my life.
And of course, we're talking about our
Dogs.
Because you didn't really give me a child.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. There's something. I can't imagine coming home and not having Scooter or another, such as, as time goes on, dogs don't have the same lifespan we do in real years, and it's so sad to think that there's going to come a time when we have to replace them.
Yeah, you never really replace, but
That's true.
maybe save another life.
Yeah.
Did you introduce her, Susie?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do that, did I?
No, I don't think you did.
We have Josephine with us.
Hello.
And Josephine's last name is, hang on a second, is Tampango?
Close enough. Yeah, it's Tampanco.
Tampanco.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the co.
And what do you do,
Tampanco.
Josephine, with Maui Humane Society?
I am the education and outreach coordinator, so that means that I'm in charge of, any of our educational programs, providing educational presentations and shelter tours to school groups or really anybody who wants to come for a tour.
And that's important because I think most people think about Maui Humane Society as adoption. You got, and that's obviously what Susie and I directly went to as adoptions because it affects everybody. But you guys do so much more in the community.
Definitely, and it's kind of my mission to raise awareness about the services we provide and let people know that they're not out there alone in learning how to be responsible pet owners. We have a lot of counseling, a lot of information in print form now. We just came out with a citizen's guide for animal regulations and laws, which we never had before,
Oh,
but
that's
it's
a
a
good
nice,
one.
That's a great idea.
easy to read, wonderful booklet. In case you're just wondering, am I following the law? It's all in there.
But
And
does it have stuff in there about, you've got that neighbor who has the incessantly barking dog,
yes,
what you can do about it?
It has a step-by-step how to report a bark complaint.
Well, that's good because there's some people who go directly to the police, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and what we want is a little bit of to provide a little more clarification on, what the due process is for things like that, reporting bark complaints, renting humane traps. What is the official leash law in public, in your truck? All of that stuff is accessible through the laws on the
But you gotta
county website, but it's not exactly fun to read that way. So the booklet really helps. It's very clear, very straightforward, and
Nice plain English.
And I put some cute pictures in there. So
Very good. Hey, and you guys are going to be in the parade tomorrow night.
we are,
The
yeah.
fair parade with
are.
with some dogs and
We
cats?
will be bringing some of our shelter dogs. I don't think our cats,
No
want
cats?
to walk in the
Oh, okay.
parade, so we
Cats are
thought
pretty
we'd give them a little.
fussy about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them a little free pass on that one.
Okay.
Let the dogs all go, and the cats will sit back and go. Finally, it's quiet around here.
Oh,
So we'll have some of our shelter dogs, and we'll also have some of our shelter dog alumni coming
Oh, cool.
to walk in the parade. And right now, as I speak, we are decorating a truck to look like a giant dog
oh yeah.
in the parade.
Okay.
We're also going to be presenting in the events arena this Sunday night. So that's from 7:30 to 8:15 inside the county fair. We'll be just sharing information about responsible pet ownership and making ourselves available to
You'll
the
have
public.
animals there too then?
We will be bringing probably an animal that was adopted
Oh, okay.
from the shelter, just because of scheduling
Yeah.
and things like that.
And there's a section on somebody's doing a dog training during the fair this year. Did you see
Oh,
that
really?
in the
Yeah.
entertainment tent? I
Oh.
think. Yeah, which is always helpful because
Yeah.
people always tell me, "Oh, your dogs are so well mannered." I'm like, "Well, it's not that hard to train a dog. You just got to be consistent, and you have to."
Unless you go to obedience school and the dog passes and the owner flunks.
Oh,
Well, we try to remind people all the time, like dogs don't come trained. It's something it's a bond that you form with your pet when you choose to spend that time every day
Yeah.
socializing with them and getting them used to also being around other people and animals. It's a lot easier to take your dog around with you in the public when they get along with everyone else.
That's true.
when you don't
that's
have
true.
to put a muzzle on it.
So now you've got something coming up next week because it's a vacation week for school
We do.
kids, yeah?
Fall break is coming up. That's October 1st through 5th. And we've got our fall animal camp session during that time. We've got animal camps going on through all the Department of Education school breaks. So there's this one October 1st through 5th. And then we'll also have a winter session December 17th through 21st.
Cool.
And what happens at these camps?
Oh, so much. Yeah. I started coordinating for this program about 1.5 years ago, and since then the curriculum's developed pretty significantly. And we've also integrated kind of art themes into our camps. So the foundation of the program is humane education, which is trying to teach basic values of kindness and compassion, care, respect, through interactions with shelter animals and understanding the greater context of what your actions have on our furry friends. But lately we've been doing a lot of arts-themed camps. I just thought it would be nice to integrate that into the humane education, and I found that it's a lot easier to teach things like kindness and compassion and empathy when you're doing things like role-playing in theater and painting and photography. So the kids really respond strongly to that. I really love doing it, and this fall we'll be focusing on pet photography.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, I have a guest speaker, David Schoonover, who's a professional photographer, and he's going to come and talk to the kids about, composition and capturing personality.
You want to borrow my dogs to take some pictures of her?
Yeah, you want some pictures?
I think they have a few dogs over there.
Aw.
Sorry.
But Mellie's so photogenic.
I know. You want that? You want that
I want the
great
picture.
picture? Yeah.
But the idea behind it is that, if the kids take a moment to just be observational in their relationship with the animals and try and capture their personalities and just take that moment to think about the fact that these animals have personalities and stories behind them. I think that kind of intrinsically builds empathy. They start to relate
Yeah.
even more so. Not that they have any trouble with that in the first place.
I was looking at some of the pictures on your website of adoptable animals.
They're cute.
And some of them, I mean, it's like they just pose for that picture.
Yeah.
Some dogs are just automatic. It's like, oh, camera.
Very photogenic. And,
Yeah.
We tried, I did an animal art camp the last week of this past summer, and it was so much fun. The kids had fun. They painted a mural. We did a photography contest, and they took it really seriously and were very nice with their close-ups of the cats and dogs. And I think
Now,
is going to be super fun.
do the
Yeah.
kids have to have a pet at home to come to this camp?
No,
or-
actually, a lot of our campers don't have pets at home, which is why they come to our camps. I've gotten a lot of comments from parents that they would like their children to attend animal camp for a session or two before they're comfortable bringing a pet into the home. That way they know that their child has some background information and understands the importance of being a responsible pet owner. We've definitely seen at the end of every camp students adopting,
Really?
which
Oh,
is
how
a nice
great.
side effect to that.
How great. Hold on to that thought. We're going to
Sure.
take another break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And welcome back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors from the nonprofit world here on Maui. And this afternoon we have with us Josephine
Tempango.
Tempango.
Yeah.
Co.
Like Punko, yeah?
Pungo.
Yep, it's like Tem, Pong,
Co.
Co.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we were just showing pictures of my lovely dogs to her. Because,
yeah.
you know,
I
everybody
love
who works
seeing
at the
pictures
Humane
of people's
Society loves
dogs.
to look at pictures of other people's dogs.
Absolutely.
Right. So we were talking about the fall animal camp now. What age kids are we talking about?
Our animal camps are for grades 2 to 5.
Okay.
So not quite kindergarten, first grade, pre-K, a little bit older. We accept 12 students per session. So right now we've got 8, which means we
Just
have
a
4
few
spots
more
available.
slots, people.
The camp costs $145 for the week, or $45 per day, but we prefer for the kids to come for the
Sure.
whole week because there's a week-long curriculum.
Right.
And of
And
course, all
each
the
day,
proceeds.
Is it each day from like 8:30 to, or what's
Yes, it's Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Friday, we have a pizza party for the kids that is sponsored by Flatbread.
Ooh, I'll sign up
nice.
for Friday.
And I know,
You're not a
and
kid.
they have been actually donating pizza for our pizza parties for the past year and a half.
Oh,
Just
terrific.
wonderful.
They do a lot. They do a lot.
They do, and they've always been a great partner with Animal Camp and offering them that special treat on Fridays. So, yeah, so it's October 1st through 5th. We have 4 spots still available, and if you're interested in learning more, we're also included on Maui Family Magazine's online virtual camp fair. And that's updated every season, so if you want to know what's going on for winter, then check back in a few weeks.
I remember we talked, was it earlier this year or last year? I can't remember when it was. But there, you were doing a play.
Yes, our first Animal Camp Theater.
Yeah.
And that's actually, since then, we've done it one more time, and the kids' plays are actually posted on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So they did 2 plays. There was one called Angie Gets Her Cat Spayed, and the second one was Jelly Bean Finds a New Home, and they're so adorable. So if you want some cute kid action, just check out our YouTube channel, and we've got their 2 little plays that they put on. So proud of them. And they go through the whole process of writing the script and making the characters, and they make all the props, and
How cute.
they each have a lesson that they want to teach. So, you know, there's one on spay and neuter, of course, and then the other one was about the whole adoption process. So they had a little boy dressed up like a dog and set up his kennel, and
And that
it
was Jelly Bean?
That was Jelly Bean. And they did a fantastic job, and I really enjoy doing the theaters with them, and in the winter, that's what we're going to be doing is another theater session.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, and if they can go online to your website too, though, huh? And
Yeah.
find out
So
more?
to get more information, there's the online virtual camp at Maui Family Magazine. You can also visit our website, which is www.mauihumanesociety.org. Just in the youth section, the education section, you can download an application for fall camp, and there's also some frequently asked questions in there. But if you need more information, you can always contact me directly. My name's Josephine, and you can reach me at 877-3680, extension 20, or email me at education@mauihumanesociety.org.
You really enjoy what you do. You can tell you
Yeah,
so enjoy what
she
you do.
just beams when she talks about it. I love it.
It's literally my dream job.
Yes.
So, somebody asked me, do you want to work with kids and animals? It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. And I believe very much in the importance of outreach when it comes to our mission as an agency. The more informed our community is, the more we have their support in our efforts to improve the lives of Maui's pets. So we can't do it alone. We're a small organization. We're hiding in the cane fields, but we need our parents and our teachers and our kids and all the rest of our community to also get informed about what the laws are, what the regulations are, and what their pets need to be happy and healthy.
Because it's great that you start with kids because, that's so many times you hear kids telling their parents, no, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
they're teaching their parents stuff.
Yeah, I actually just got in an evaluation from a student that I've had for several sessions already. She's one of my favorites, and they told me that she will tell anybody who will listen whether or not they're behaving or not as pet owners, and she's really well informed on what the laws are and stuff, and that makes me really proud.
And a lot of times, I don't think kids necessarily get exposed to dogs, or because I've got my dogs, and I've seen so many times kids just come waltzing up to them without any kind of idea that maybe you should be a little bit careful. I mean, my dogs are great around kids, but not all dogs are. And if they haven't been exposed on how to interact with them and how to approach them properly, that's why we get dog bites. Not because the dogs are necessarily vicious. It's just that somebody wasn't scared them or.
Yeah, and we're definitely trying to increase our outreach in that area. We just started a program in the spring called the MHS Ambassadors Program, which is a volunteer program for those that are interested in supporting our outreach efforts. So we've got volunteers going out into the community talking to preschoolers about how to approach a dog, how to introduce yourself to a dog, which was something that all fell on my singular shoulders for a while. So I think that having that posse, that information team, will be able to be much more successful and efficient in reaching out to the community
And maybe
about
the
those
kids
things.
won't be quite so afraid of dogs too. I've seen so many kids that are just deathly afraid of dogs.
Yeah, and it's tough to get
sad.
past those prejudices once they mature into like pre-adolescence and adulthood. So having the opportunity to reach them through camp, particularly students that go through camp, they know what's up. They spend one-on-one time with not just me, but with our animal care staff. Come and talk to them about how to handle animals, what it takes to take care of them. Our field officers come and talk to them about what they do in our community, and so it's definitely I'm a huge supporter of it being a group effort to educate the kids. Our whole staff comes together, and they have come up with phenomenal lessons for the kids. One of our vet technicians comes in with all sorts of displays. I'll give her the camp themes, and she'll just create
Go to it.
amazing things and put on silly hats and talk to the kids. Actually, for the last theater one, she dressed them all up like surgeons, and they did a little fake surgery on her dog.
Oh, cute.
So-
I think one of the most popular things I hear people say as their kids approach a dog is watch his tail.
Like
if it's
what's the-
wagging, that he's
Yeah.
happy and he wants to be petted.
Well,
If
we
it's-
actually, we
you
have
know-
a unit that is like, what
Yeah.
body language should you look for not just dogs, but also cats and the smaller pocket pets, bunnies and guinea pigs, to
I
tell.
like that. Pocket pets.
Pocket pets.
Yeah, we used to call them that. We call them critters now. Usually. But all the other miscellaneous category
Right.
of wonderful animals. But there's a lot that you can tell from a dog by its ears, by the way it's looking at you. If it's looking at you out of the corner of its eye, or his or her eye,
Beware.
you want to beware. And just little subtle things like yawning, that a lot of kids don't realize that yawning is a sign of anxiety for a dog.
Really?
Most of it's either they're tired or they're nervous, so you kind of have to
Gotcha.
figure out that part. But we do a unit where it's called Guess How I Feel, and
Cool.
we look at images of animals and they tell us
So
what
those
that
are the-
animal's feeling based on
Those
its
are
body
things
language.
that all the variety of dogs have in common.
Yeah. So there's some common behavioral things, with things like shepherd breeds, and there are certain behaviors that are specific to certain breeds, but things like the tail going straight out or the creeping when they walk slowly,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
creeping, ears up or back, and eyes.
Growling.
Those are the main things. Yeah, well, the
That's-
growling, of
That's
course.
a pretty
yeah.
good sign, yeah.
The baring of teeth. Most people, those are the most obvious markers, but what we're trying to do is it's the anxious dogs that are, you got to watch out for those signs of anxiety, and then when we try to teach the kids when to lay off, basically.
Yeah.
When to
Like,
stop
leave the
pulling
dog
their tail
alone.
or ears.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
my dog, when she shows her teeth, she's smiling. She does this.
Mm-hmm.
She lifts her
Oh.
lips up.
It's not the.
No, it's not the growl. It's just when she was young, I would come up to her and I would smile at her and do the fuss with her and stuff. And she starts lifting her lips now. And why are you laughing, Gary?
He's picturing that.
She does. She smiles at me.
That's cool. Yeah. Scooter, when you were talking about the kind of getting down and
Yeah, the creeping.
The creeping. He'll see a new dog that he hasn't seen before coming down the street with its owner, and maybe we're going towards them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time they get like 2 houses away, he's kind of gotten down on his hunches, like he's going to sneak up on him. He's not behind anything. He's right out there in the middle of the street with them, right? And it's like, okay, I'm getting ready.
They won't see me.
Quiet. And then he's going to pounce, right? And it's like, and he
And
will.
if you
I mean,
haven't,
he'll jump 2 feet
Scooter
ahead.
is not exactly a large dog.
No, Scooter's 20 pounds, yeah. But it's so funny to watch him do that, and then he
Yeah.
will. And then he'll go up and they'll touch noses, and then he walks away. He's done.
No, I think it's really great to teach kids how to understand body language with the animals. Obviously, they can't tell us how they're feeling otherwise. But I think that also extends into building empathy for their classmates and for the people in their family, being able to recognize and listen with their eyes.
Yeah,
kind of
right.
Understand how people and animals are feeling around them really
Yeah.
couldn't hurt.
Changing the subject just a little bit, do you get a lot of lost animals brought to the society?
We do, a lot of the animals that come into us, we don't know where they came from, but that's why the ear tattoo helps, keeping your license on your dog, which is the law, if they're 4 months or older.
Right.
Really helps us to locate where they belong, where they come from, where they belong, who they belong to. And another really great backup, especially if you've got those escape artists, is the microchip.
Right.
Which, a lot of people mistake it for GPS. It's not GPS. It's just
It would be cool to have.
It would be
wouldn't it?
cool, but it's a little chip that we can scan at the shelter. Most veterinary clinics also have a scanner for it, but it's on your pet for life. It can't lose it because it's actually implanted under the skin, and that's a really good way for backup if you have an animal who likes to go on
Likes
little
to go-
journeys.
Gotcha.
Likes to go visiting,
Visiting.
my little neighbor dog Rocky. He likes to come visit.
Yeah, but we do get a lot of lost pets. If they have some form of identification, that's the first thing that we check when animals come into the shelter. Can we trace it back to the owner? And then one of our customer service representatives will contact the owner and ask them to come reclaim the animal. If your pet is lost, we actually have a lost and found board in the receiving area of our office that people can pin their lost reports to. We also have a lost and found binder which is in our adoptions area. It's all in the same building. And the best way, I think, and what I always recommend is for people to check our Facebook. Our Facebook is updated every day in real time as stray animals come in. We have stray reports posted the same day. So if your animal is lost, you want to definitely let us know as soon as possible. And also check our Facebook periodically, because you'll see it'll pop up and say, oh, we found a domestic short hair gray cat.
Yeah, because sometimes people will find dogs and they'll keep them for you and just contact you and say, hey, I've got this dog. This is what it looks like. So if somebody calls in, have them call me. It's not always, that you go down directly to the Humane Society and look for your dog, because it could be that somebody has reported it to you guys, right?
Yeah, you definitely, no matter what, you want to call us and check in. Because if your animal is missing, we can keep an eye out for it. If we know that there's an animal matching that description and they come into the shelter, then we can give you a call. But it's really, really important that people call us as soon as they find out the animal's missing, because the longer time goes by, the more difficult it is to locate them.
Because you hear stories of people saying, well, my dog disappears for a day or two and I don't worry about it, until it gets to be
says
the
that?
third day. And it's like, hello, I'd be worried the first half hour.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that actually is a really common situation where they're like, oh, well, the dog disappears for days at a time, but this time it's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because dogs are so good at navigating highways and freeways and, streets. And, oh, wait, there's the street sign that says I'm home. Oh, my goodness.
What I always tell my students and what I always tell people is that, if your animal is roaming outside, you're basically
the law.
you are violating the law, but you're also accepting the possibility that something really horrible could happen to them. And, I've got 2 indoor cats at home, and I basically just don't accept the possibility. I don't want anything to happen to them that's unpredictable. I've had cats been run over by cars before, and
You wouldn't let your child run off for a week.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Let them fend for themselves and be scared at night and cold, and that's horrible. Well, thank you, Jocelyn, for everything you not Jocelyn.
Josephine.
Josephine,
I'm
sorry.
Josephine.
Josephine, for everything you do for the Maui Humane Society. I'm so glad you enjoy your work, and it's very evident. And we'll tell Jocelyn, that's what I was thinking about, what a great job you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, the whole organization, it's tremendous how it's gotten to the point it's gotten to. That was really a good sentence, Susie.
Yeah, we've made leaps and bounds, and we're hoping to make even more.
And working with the kids is fabulous.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you all for joining us today on Maui Nonprofits Notes. This show is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. If you are building or remodeling your home, please stop by their showroom in the Waikapuk Base Yard. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. And I want to remind you about the October 12th Legislative Pauhana. Please call 242-1140 or visit our website, mauinonprofit.org, to find out more about this legislative event.
Terrific. And today we visited with Colleen and
Josephine.
And Colleen from the Kidney Foundation of Hawaii, and Josephine from the Maui Humane Society. And we learned so much about what they're doing. And they all need volunteers for their various activities. So please, if you're interested, give, advocate, or volunteer for your favorite nonprofit. Don't forget to join us again next week, same time, same place, KOI Radio, 1110 AM, 96.7 FM, when we'll be featuring representatives of 2 more member agencies. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann.
And I'm Sherry Dotson.
Have a great week. Aloha.
Mahalo.